Good day, everyone. And this is Group 1 under the Marketing Ethics Fall 2025 class with the B. Marlboro Philip Morris International Ad Campaign presented by our group. And this is us. The Marlboro Man was created in 1954 by a major advertising agency to rebrand Marlboro cigarettes from a feminine, filtered brand to a more masculine brand. They originally tried different manly models, such as sailors and other professionals, but the cowboy was the most popular. This became the Marlboro Country campaign, using the cowboy as a tough and independent cigarette smoker with a Western backdrop. This was very successful for decades, and the Marlboro Man became an icon. However, this image was dated by the 1980s and was not as relevant to younger generations. In the effort to appeal to new users, Marlboro launched the Be Marlboro campaign, which utilized youth-oriented images such as attending concerts, going on dates, doing athletic activities, etc. It was launched in Germany in 2011 and was spread in over 50 countries such as Brazil, Switzerland, China, Japan, and the United Kingdom. It was banned 2 years later in Germany on the grounds that the ads were designed to appeal to children as young as 14 years of age to start smoking. It encouraged the youth to feel that they were taking risks and being initiated into an adult activity, that they can belong to a cool group. Even though these advertisements became banned in several countries, they continued to run in countries with weaker laws on tobacco marketing restrictions, such as the Philippines. In most middle to lower middle class neighborhoods in the Philippines, there are usually a few sari-sari stores, which are convenience stores that sell everything in small, more affordable amounts from detergent to candy. Among the items for sale are open packs of cigarettes, which are sold by the stick. The owners who run these stores do not check for IDs. A young child can purchase cigarettes or beer without any fear, as it is often assumed that they were sent on an errand by their elders. There are no repercussions similar to buying liquor or nicotine from minors in the United States. Among tobacco products, cigarettes are the most preferred, and of all brands, Marlboro is the most dominant, with the largest market share. It is one of the brands under Philip Morris International, or PMI, the largest tobacco company in the world. According to a 2023 study from Johns Hopkins University, the B. Marlboro campaign ads in the Philippines were rated as highly appealing, and tobacco advertising was a powerful tool for smoking initiation among adolescents. The focus groups discussed that these ads promoted adventure and decisiveness with young people as a target audience. This greater likability was associated with increased intent to smoke cigarettes among youths included in the survey. This early smoking initiation is possibly linked to greater cigarette use over time. 7 anti-tobacco organizations issued a joint report that the PMI is recruiting the youth in an effort to addict them to smoking cigarettes through imagery that appeals to the adolescent search for identity. In this, PMI is violating its own ethical code, which states we do not and will not market our products to minors, including the use of images and content with particular appeal to minors. So we discuss the ethical dilemmas regarding this topic. The target audience is that B. Marlboro campaign targets underage audience with youth-focused themes and portrays smoking as a path to confidence, certainty, and purpose. And the ethical concern is that it exploits youth vulnerability, making the campaign morally wrong.
I'll be sharing the utilitarian analysis on the campaign, focusing on its attempt to attract young people in the Philippines and the broader societal impacts. First, a quick reminder of what utilitarianism entails. Under utilitarian ethics, an action is considered morally right if it maximizes overall well-being. That is, if it produces the greatest good for the greatest number. With that in mind, the key question becomes, does targeting young people with this campaign increase or decrease overall happiness and welfare in the Philippines? From PMI's point of view, there are short-term benefits such as higher revenue, brand recognition, and stronger market dominance. In fact, its local affiliate PMFTC already holds over 60% of the Philippine cigarette market. But utilitarianism asks us to consider not just profit, but the total consequences to society. And when we do that, the harms clearly outweigh the gains. Smoking in the Philippines is a major public health crisis. Every year, more than 112,000 Filipinos die from tobacco-related diseases. Early smoking, especially among youth, leads to stronger nicotine dependence and much higher lifetime risk of chronic diseases like lung cancer and heart disease. Research shows that for every year smoking is delayed, daily cigarette use drops by about 1.5%. So targeting young people directly increases long-term addiction and suffering. The harm doesn't stop with smokers themselves. Families suffer financially and emotionally from illness and death. Hospitals and the public health system spend billions treating tobacco-related diseases, which is nearly 5% of the total government health spending. Overall, the economic cost of smoking in the Philippines is around 261 billion pesos a year, including lost productivity and healthcare expenses, which is an enormous drain on the national well-being. Utilitarianism also considers fairness and distribution of harm. In the Philippines, tobacco use is most common among lower income groups. That means poor families spend a bigger share of their income on cigarettes instead of on essentials such as food, education, or healthcare. So promoting tobacco deepens poverty and inequality, further reducing overall welfare. We often forget that cigarette waste is toxic too. In many Filipino communities, cigarette butts are a major source of pollution, contaminating soil and waterways. This adds yet another layer of harm, especially for rural and coastal communities that already face environmental challenges. If we weigh all these factors, the short-term profits versus the long-term health, economic, and social costs, the utilitarian conclusion is clear. Promoting tobacco to young people in the Philippines does not maximize happiness or well-being. It increases disease, deepens inequality, and places huge burdens on families and the healthcare system. The short-term corporate gains are trivial compared to the long-term suffering imposed on society. Therefore, the moral responsibility is to promote actions that protect the well-being of the greatest number. Any effort to market tobacco to youths in the Philippines is not just unethical, but fundamentally irrational from a utilitarian point of view.
And now we're going to view it from the common good approach. Just to review, the common good framework argues that society should be guarded by will of the people, which would then produce what is best for the people as a whole. The Be Marlboro campaign raises ethical concerns, especially when viewed through the common good framework. In the Philippines, the campaign specifically targets vulnerable groups, including teens as young as 13 and in low income communities, by associating smoking with freedom or confidence or the way to be cool. From a public health standpoint, this is especially alarming since among Filipino youth between ages 13 to 15, 12.5% are current tobacco users. Campaigns like Be Marlboro reinforce and worsen these patterns by glamorizing smoking instead of discouraging it. By valuing profit over people, Marlboro undermines their responsibility to protect community health. Under the common good framework, this campaign fails to support the collective well-being of society as a whole, and instead it exploits the vulnerable, normalizes harm, and prioritizes corporate interests such as brand recognition and company profit over the well-being of society.
And so here are some recommendations that Marlboro could take to further support the common good and the utilitarian approaches. The first of which is no longer making smoking synonymous with cool, focusing the targeting strategies on commonly sought after traits in youth like spontaneity, chasing dreams, partying, and falling in love for the first time. They're intentionally targeting a younger demographic that will buy into those ideologies. They want to make themselves synonymous with being cool and being cool with something that kids want to go after. Additionally, this gives them the opportunity to brand for further brand extension with a new product launch. Many people begin smoking and can't get away from smoking because of a personal oral fixation. This manifests itself in ways like chewing your nails, as well as chewing gum, and of course, smoking. By creating a health alternative to tobacco products like a non-nicotine, non-tobacco vape, this will be able to be marketed to both adults and teens alike as a healthy alternative to smoking. In a 2021 study, teens who use non-nicotine and non-tobacco vape products are more likely to stop smoking entirely as a result. Finally, advertising the long-term risk alongside the short-term rewards. In the United States, we have regulations mandating that risk be shown along any advertisement for drugs, tobacco products, things of that nature, pushed by our Food and Drug Administration. As we already stated, Germany ended this ad campaign after 2 years after concerns of it targeting a younger demographic. Unfortunately, with countries like the Philippines, they don't have such strict tobacco laws. So lending support to these types of countries to stop the targeting of vulnerable populations. To conclude, the Be Marlboro marketing campaign from Philip Morris International acted unethically and immorally through the lenses of utilitarianism and the common good approach. It raises ethical concerns by targeting a younger demographic message and creating messaging that aligns with their specific ideologies, that makes them want to interact with the Marlboro brand more. By doing so, it disregards both the personal well-being of these younger individuals as well as the overall societal well-being by causing an increase in environmental harm as well as poverty and inequality as a whole. To correct these mistakes, Philip Morris International must diversify their ad content to include a wider demographic included in it, present healthier alternatives, and show risks alongside every ad.
Thank you. And for group one, I'm Anya.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Zaria.
Thank you and wish you all a happy day.